Hello everyone, my name is Lacey, this is Sekhmet, and you are watching Reptiles. Alright y'all, it's real hot out here, so we're gonna do a quick one. It's like 97 and the heat index says it's like 107, so that's fun. But Sekhmet is looking precious and cute as always. But today, I would like to say thank you to all of you out there, all 192 of you who have subscribed to this channel. It's really cool and really impressive. I never thought I'd even have this many. And this is still a small channel, but that doesn't mean that we don't have an impact here. And I would like to share with you just a couple of the things that have really made me appreciate doing this, and the handful of you who have been watching and enjoying hanging out with me and my noodles. So she's gripping now. So some people I know, I am very proud of them, have been inspired to get over fears of snakes, and I think that's really cool. A friend of mine, a coworker, she's got kids, and she's, a lot of people are kind of about snakes, but she'll take her kids out on walks and out in nature to enjoy what's going on. And what she was telling me was she's been going on these walks, and at one point she saw a little snake, and she remembered, well, if Lacey can do it, I can do it. And it was a non-venomous snake. She picked it up and she showed her kids it was nothing to be afraid of, which is so incredibly important. And I'm so incredibly proud of her for doing that, and just teaching her kids that snakes and reptiles, they're not to be feared. And during one of these hikes and outings, they came across a copperhead, which, people will say, oh, they'll chase you, they're out to get you, they're scary, right? Copperhead, scary snake. But they left the copperhead alone. It was minding its business, they were minding theirs. And the copperhead was just coiled up there, minding its business. It noticed them, they noticed it, they admired it. They didn't touch it, they didn't mess with it. They were like, wow, that's really cool. And they left it alone. And she's telling me this, and I'm just so incredibly proud. She's like, it didn't chase us or anything. And I'm so incredibly proud of her for doing that and for showing her kids it's okay to come across a snake, appreciate it, and leave it alone. And this channel has helped, and if I can help one person or one set of kids kind of be okay with coming across a snake, admiring it, and leaving it alone. And in the case of some of the non-venomous snakes she found, like I think she found a worm snake or a ringneck snake. She picked it up, she admired it, she showed her kids, and then she let it go and they went on their way. Is just something that I'm so proud of her, and it's nice to feel like I have made some sort of an impact, right? And another friend of mine, her daughter off at college loves reptiles, and I think she watches, and I think some of her friends watch, so hey guys, thanks. But they came by the other day and she got to hold Sekhmet, and she got to hang out with Lieutenant Dan. John Cena didn't feel like coming out. She was kind of being antisocial, and when I went to pick her up, she was like, no, Mom. And I said, okay, we'll leave you alone. But she came over there and was hanging out with the snakes after visiting Frog Family in Springfield. We love Frog Family. And she said, this is the best day ever. And she just got to hang out with snakes. And that friend, she is afraid of snakes. And she didn't hold them, which is totally fine. But I'm so incredibly proud of her for being able to just touch Lieutenant Dan. We did the single touch, single finger pet, and she pet his coils, she touched the snake, which for someone who's afraid of snakes, that's a lot. I'm so proud. And even a couple weeks ago, my mother, who I know will watch this, so hi Mom, terrified of snakes. My mom is like the most snake-phobic person I know. Um, it was a little bit on my part, a little unwillingly, but her and my dad came by, and I happened to have Lieutenant Dan out, and I ran downstairs to go say hi to them because they stopped by, and I had the snake, and Mom, for all her credit, touched Lieutenant Dan. So proud. She touched his little coil and said, okay, I'm done. But she tried it, and I'm so proud. And if I can have any sort of an impact like that on anyone, where they make a good faith effort, where they try a new thing, like touching a snake, or leaving a snake alone when you find it in the wild, not messing with it and just being like, wow, that's a pretty cool snake, and then leaving, incredible. And I don't know if there's others out there. I know there's some other folks who I know have watched the channel who are like, yeah, the kids like watching your show. The kids like it. They like learning about the different snakes and different stuff and where they're from. And you know, though you have your snakes, and that seems like it'd be scary, but maybe it's not. And just over the last few weeks, a handful of people have told me, like, you've helped me be less afraid of snakes. And for that, I am eternally grateful for any of you watching who have given me that opportunity to help someone get over a fear of snakes. Because they're not the monsters people make them out to be. They're not these killing machines who are out to get you. They're just doopy little guys and gals just trying to be alive on this planet like anybody else. And I think that is incredible. Isn't that right, SecNet? Incredible. And I thank you to everyone watching. I mean, we're almost to 200 subscribers, which is also incredible, because earlier this year we hit 100 subscribers, and I think it would be incredibly neat if by the end of the year, my pipe dream is to hit 500 by the end of the year. Pipe dream, right? So if you like my videos, like, comment, share. It really helps the algorithm and can help more people kind of be exposed to snakes and not be so scared. Especially with that new show coming out, Monsters of God, right? I am both excited and nervous for this show, because I mean, we all remember 2020, Tiger King, chef's kiss, right? But the drama, Chimp Crazy, the drama, Monsters of God is going to be the drama. And yes, it will be about the smuggling of animals into this country so we can have the pet trade, right? The reptile trade we have today. A lot of animals that we have might not be here if it weren't for smugglers. In the past, prior to I think 1978, Australia did allow imports of reptiles to other countries. But after the late 70s, that's when the ban started. So a lot of these animals we might not even have in captivity if it weren't for smugglers, if it weren't for people like that Wong, Andrew Wong, I think his name was, and Tom Crutchfield, and all these other guys. And yes, we cannot ignore the past of the reptile hobby, because it happened. It's the reason we have some of the creatures we have today, because people smuggled them in. And there became so many, it was just like, well, I guess it's legal to keep them because they're here, so what are you going to do? My only fear is that people will watch Monsters of God and think that that applies to every single person who keeps a reptile, that everyone was in that life. But not everyone was. These were the people who did make the reptile hobby kind of possible. And Tom Crutchfield, he is one of the best reptile behavior experts, in my opinion, in this country. The way he treats and keeps his animals is incredible. His work with his water monitors, incredible. And by all accounts, everything I've heard about the man, he's a wonderful person. I met someone who's really good friends with Tyler Nolan recently. A good guy. My understanding is that he's a good guy who takes good care of his animals. And They are both in this documentary. And yes, in the past, there might have been some kind of shady things going on in the reptile hobby. But as the hobby progresses and ages, we work on getting better to do what's right for our animals, like Tom Crutchfield has done, educating about his animals, teaching about these animals, that when the kept and the keeper are unafraid of one another, that's where the magic begins. That's Tom Crutchfield. And I hope that whenever people watch Monsters of God, that they don't think of the reptiles as the monsters, right? And not necessarily the people either. The people were doing what they had to do. But obviously, in this show, we'll come to learn more about what kind of happened. But take everything with a grain of salt. And remember, they're showing you the most dramatic parts. And sometimes the most dramatic parts aren't necessarily the true parts. But thank you, everyone who watches. I love all of you. You're all wonderful. We have a wonderful adventure coming up here in a couple months, which I think will be a good time. And keep watching, keep supporting. It really helps. And not just me to have fun doing this, but it has helped real people in real life help get over a fear of snakes and reptiles and start to be curious about these animals rather than judgmental, right? Because when you're curious, you're asking questions. When you're being judgmental, you're just having a completely formed opinion, whether it's right or wrong, good or bad. You're being judgmental, not curious. Thank you, Walt Whitman, for that one. But it's real hot out here, like I said. So we're going to call it at that. But remember, folks, never stop learning, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.